So this is science. For science today, we're going to read some books about trees. There's also a link to a brain pop about trees that I'd like you to watch, and then also a little link to some tree coloring pages and tree activities. Okay? All right, this first book is called Trees. There are many kinds of trees. Can you see some ways that these trees are alike? So let's see, let's look at those trees. Let's see, any way that all these trees are alike? Let's see, well, they all have stems, the trunk. They all have branches. They all have leaves. We can see that. What are the parts of a tree? All trees have a trunk. All trees have branches. And all trees have leaves or needles. Remember, the leaves that look more like this are broad leaves, and then pine trees have needles. And all trees have roots, so the roots are underground. That's what keeps the tree in place. It's what helps it stay where it is, and then it gets water and nutrients from the soil. Trees have many shapes. Some trees look like circles. That looks like sort of like the Mexican plum trees that grow around Austin where we live. They're so pretty. Some trees look like triangles. It's real tall and pointy. All trees have trunks. The trunk of the tree gets bigger as it grows. All trees have branches. The branches grow from the trunk. All trees have leaves or needles. The leaves grow from branches. The tree gets its food from the leaves. The leaves of all trees do not look alike. When do most trees lose their leaves? Many trees lose their leaves in the fall. They grow new ones in the spring. So there's the fall. Remember, we saw all the orange and yellow and red trees around the school, or red leaves in the trees around the school in the fall, right before Thanksgiving break. And then they grow new ones in the spring. And then we saw the little green buds on the trees, on those same trees around school in February and the beginning of March. These are needles. They stay green all the time. When the needles fall off, some new needles grow. So that's a type of leaf, the needles that are on pine trees, so conifers, and they are called evergreens because they stay green all year round. How do roots help a tree? All trees have roots. The roots help hold the tree in the ground. The water from the soil goes into the roots to help the tree grow. How do trees have, or why do trees have seeds? All trees have seeds, but they don't all look alike. New trees grow from the seeds, and later on this week I'm going to post a little video about an acorn that I found in my backyard that sprouted and a little oak tree seedling came out. How can trees help animals? Some animals use the seeds for food. Some animals make their homes in the trunk of a tree. Birds make their home on the branches of a tree. How can people use trees? Or how can trees help people? Trees can help us keep cool, so by sitting in the shade of a tree. It's much cooler to sit in the shade of a tree than it is to sit in the hot sun. Many trees are cut for us to use. We use the wood in our fireplaces to keep warm. We use the wood to make paper. We also use the wood from trees to build houses. We also use trees for fun. Oh, there's a tree house. Okay. All right, so now let's read one more book about trees. This one's called A Tree is a Home. There are many kinds of trees, and they grow in, I can't get it right, and they grow in many different places. So look at all these different types of trees. Oh, this one looks like those really cool trees that grow in the savanna in Africa. Look at all these different types of trees. A tree is a home. Bugs, birds, and other animals live in trees. So this looks like some trees in a rainforest. Those look like rainforest trees. These cherry trees grow in a garden. A cherry tree is a home. A dragonfly lives in this cherry tree. A sparrow and a tree frog live here too. Wow, I wonder if these are the cherry blossom trees that we learned about when we were learning about Asia and Japan. They're so pretty. These fig trees grow in a rainforest. A fig tree is a home. A butterfly lives in this fig tree. A parrot and a monkey live here too. These giant cactus trees grow in a desert. A giant cactus tree is a home. A cricket lives in this giant cactus. An owl and a lizard live here too. So those type of cactus that look like that go straight up and then they have those little kind of arms that come out, those are called saguaro cactus. And they only grow in a certain area, a certain type of desert, and they can live to be, I think, like 200 years old. It's amazing. And they don't get that first little arm out. They don't grow one of those until they're like 80 years old. They're really amazing plants. These pine trees grow in a forest. A pine tree is a home. A moth lives in this pine tree. A hawk and a squirrel live here too. So they're pine trees, so it's a conifer, so they have the needle type of leaves. These gum trees grow in a woodland. A gum tree is a home. A beetle lives in the gum tree. A kookaburra and a koala live here too. Oh, so this must be in Australia then, because those are Australian animals. A kookaburra and a koala live in Australia. This maple tree grows in my backyard. A maple tree is a home. A ladybug lives in the maple tree. A robin and a raccoon live here too. Maple trees are real pretty because their leaves turn orange and yellow and red in the fall before they fall off for winter. Sometimes I live in my maple tree too. Oh, she plays in her tree. Pretty cute. Okay, so tomorrow you are going to print off a tree scavenger hunt, and with your parents, make sure you go with your parents. Maybe you can walk around your neighborhood and try to find some native trees in your neighborhood or maybe even in your yard. But for today, there's a brain pop about trees that we'd like you to watch, and then there's also some tree coloring pages and some tree activities to do.